Welcome. What is up? Welcome to the Mixer. I'm your host, RC. I'm joined by my co-host here, Jeff. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Looking good, sir. Looking good.
Thank you.
You're
Well,
repping.
what was that?
I was gonna say you're repping the brand well today.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's a good week so far. So, feeling good, looking good. That's how it
Awesome.
goes.
Yeah. All right. First things first. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like our social channels at FC Wine Mixer on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the only three that matter. Jeff's still working on our TikTok. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and I believe it's on Amazon Music. Don't forget to rate and review, comment, share around, and we have our survey. Survey link is in the show notes, so help us out. Take the survey. We would greatly appreciate it so we can get this thing rolling on season 2. Second things first. Yeah, sure, why not? The tilts. Jeff, do you have any tilts this week?
Yeah. So I got one. It's kind of funny to me. And it's not so much a tilt, but it is something I feel the need to share.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been getting more into the politics and all that kind of stuff, and
Oh.
I stumbled upon a few people that I watch have been interviewed or interviewed this gentleman named Jesse Lee Peterson, and he's an older, super conservative guy,
Mm-hmm.
but he basically says that if you're a man and you don't vote conservative,
Uh-huh.
you're a beta male.
Low T.
Yes, very.
Voting Dem is low T. We already knew this. Why is this guy on the news?
It just I don't know, but it's just he's so like firm in that belief and the way he says it that it's got me shook a little bit.
Oh, he's firm. He's firm, all right. It's all that T. Breaking news. Breaking news. Well, yeah, I mean, I appreciate this man JLP. What was his name? Jason Lee Peterson or something.
Pretty
It's always
much Jesse. It's Jesse Lee Peterson.
okay. It's always a indicator when somebody goes with a full um three name title. So anyway, yeah. I mean, hot political takes are in vogue. This tis the season. Um, yeah, I mean, we had a congresswoman come out and say some problematic things the other day. So, free entertainment, I suppose. But I mean, these are the people that make decisions for our country. So
Yeah.
think about that when you vote. Um, alrighty. Any other tilts, sir?
I mean, no, just some things that are on the mind, but no real tilts. I think you'll talk about one of them. So I'll let you go with your tilts.
Yeah. Continuing from last year or from last week, the day trading scene has been all over the place. GME to the moon has kind of crashed down back to earth. It's been a wild ride for those that got in on it. Looks like it's up a little bit today, but watching it has been entertaining to say the least. And it got me thinking, dude, if you were the CEO of GameStop, I mean, I feel like now is the time to kind of not maybe hashtag rebrand and redo the business model. What would you do? I got some ideas. I'm curious about you. I'm putting you on the spot. I
Well,
know.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
you are in the industry, so
I don't know
go
about
ahead.
that, but I have heard a few things regarding GameStop and that they're not in as bad of a position as people would have you believe.
Uh-huh.
Like they are not very likely they're not going bankrupt anytime soon. I mean, considering uh, 2019 they still did $6 billion worth of revenue, and most of their stores, I think they have like 900 stores or 1,000 stores, and it's like 90% of their stores are cash flow positive. So like they're not failing in the like they're going bankrupt tomorrow kind of way. They're failing in the sense of like their business model's outdated. But it's in no way going to be gone. I think it's going to be a very slow death, the way Blockbuster kind of was, right? Like Blockbuster was around for years, even though everyone knew they were dying off, right?
Blockbuster seemed pretty abrupt, man. It was like all of a sudden, all of them were gone. There was like that year period where they tried to do the red box thing, and that did not work.
Yeah, but like it was trending that way. But then, like once they finally closed, like it closed quickly. But like for a while, they were trending down, and I think GameStop's similar. Like they're trending down, but they're not in a terrible spot. I think they need to kind of rebrand though, and I think if they went more the route of a obviously still sell consoles, still sell the discs, but maybe keep less on hand, right? Like, because a lot of people still want discs. It's becoming less and less. But I was reading something. I think the study was done through 2018, and it was like 45% of people still wanted a physical disc. And I'm sure a lot of those people include collectors, because there's the special boxes that come out and stuff like that you don't get when you buy something digital. But I think if they went more the collector route, they might have a better shot. I mean, still sell like, games, but they can still sell more gaming accessories. I think stuff that you kind of like need, and just make sure they do their best to have it in store, because like that would be the one advantage of going to a GameStop versus going to Amazon or something like that, is like if I want another controller, I can just drive down to GameStop and get it, right? Versus having to order it on Amazon and coming in a day or two, right?
Yeah.
But I think they need to kind of go the collector route, because a lot of people that are into games are very into collectibles and stuff around those games, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think if they went that route, they have a chance to kind of rebrand the business. But I know they just got a new CEO. I think it was last year. I think it's the guy who used to run Chewy.com, if I remember right, which is like the dog brand stuff, or like pet brands. And so, I think pretty much, but I think they have new leadership. So it's just really kind of dependent on where that new leadership thinks they need to go. It's obvious they need to get away from selling consoles and like physical discs as like their main source of income. But it doesn't mean they have to completely go away from that either.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're uniquely positioned, and I do like the collector idea for sure that you came up with, because I mean, there's not that much competition there. There are some like local, I mean, I can only speak for San Diego. I don't know how it is in other cities, but there are some pop-up, privately owned, not chain places that have those hard to find rare games and consoles and that sort of thing. It would be interesting to see if they could kind of incorporate that on a bigger scale, but I mean, they'd be competing with eBay in since they're already there. But going into a physical place and actually being able to get that sort of collector's thing and see it beforehand definitely has some sort of appeal. But they are kind of uniquely positioned as the only, well, at least the only video game retailer that is countrywide, as far as I know. And arguably, gaming has never been more popular with Twitch and
right.
all the streamers And, in a comic book culture is huge right now too. So there's that opportunity, and there's all these online gaming tournaments. I just feel like they have, there's a demand for something tied to video games, and they have all these stores. Like, just change the model a little bit. My original idea was maybe pivoting to some sort of like internet cafe hybrid or something where
Yeah.
people can go and demo games and demo equipment, and
Well,
something like that. Maybe they can serve some chicken tendies, as a little, maybe they partner with Wall Street Bets and I start selling those little dude logos.
you know what I actually thought about was similar to your like internet cafe thing is with the rise of esports. I don't know why they don't try sponsoring teams,
They
right? Like,
do sponsor one team, I heard from
no, but like
someone.
they could do more local stuff, right? Like they're the only, like
Yeah,
you said, like
host
I mean,
tournaments,
Best Buy's a,
charge a
yeah,
fee,
like
do some sort of
Best Buy's
regional
a
thing.
game retailer, right? But Best Buy doesn't do that kind of stuff, you
Yeah,
know. GameStop's the larger game retailer, I believe, and in terms of like their revenue from gaming, Best Buy is clearly larger. But yeah, like host tournaments again. They used to. They could put them on again. They could do some other stuff around that. They could put like teams together. Like I know in um, certain esports, age is a thing before you can go pro. Like I think in
hmm
Rocket League you have to be like 15 or something, 16. Um, and they could put together like developmental teams or kind of like help group people together. You know what I mean? Like that kind of
yeah.
stuff. And
Uh, There are ways to do it. Malls are
yeah,
dying. There's space. Rent out the freaking food court. Put up some freaking projectors. Have stuff all the nerds in there, and get Doritos down there, get Mountain Dew, get Taco Bell. Just make turn it into an event. I don't know. There's ways to do it. The demand's there. Are they $100 stock? Probably not, but there are ways to turn it around.
well,
Um, hopefully, hopefully, hopefully this will be a feel good story with a happy ending. But yeah, I mean, I'm riding the wave a little bit. I threw in some shekels. Not doing so well, but I can say I was part of the movement. I'll tell my kids, my kid so far. I will let her know I was part of the big GameStop short squeeze of 2021, and she'll be able to brag about that on her TikTok videos or something when she's old enough for social media, if TikTok's still around. It'll probably be GME talk or something by then, and I'll be the, I don't know, moderator or something. I'm just making shit up now. Um, my other tilt, Rob versus Time. Been talking about my old man pains.
yeah,
Was possibly diagnosed by my lovely better half, my wife. Gave me the little tidbit of information that a lot of people have like shoulder and neck pains because they freaking breathe wrong. And so anyway, so I'm trying that out, trying to see if it helps. And so far indicators are good. So take that time.
there you go.
Score one for the good guys.
Nice.
Speaking of Rob versus Time, Tom versus Time is going to be a big theme this week. But first, I mean, we're still going to be heavy on NFL news, especially right now. The first thing I wanted to get into was the Matthew Stafford trade. He is coming out west, trading in his Ford for a Tesla. He's going to be a Tesla bro now out here on the West Coast. He's coming to the LA Rams.
Yep.
Um, in exchange for this, Detroit got 2 first round picks. I believe it's next year's first and the year after. So would that be 2022 and 2023?
Yeah.
And also Jared Goff. Happy travels going to Detroit
Mm-hmm.
to be the starter, presumably, for the Lions. Jeff, what I wasn't expecting this trade. Were you expecting this trade? What are your initial thoughts? I mean, I didn't know
Yeah.
what the
So
Rams were gonna do, but I didn't expect them to make a splash like this.
yeah. So I was a little surprised by the trade. Pretty unsurprising that Stafford was traded, considering like the news like the day or week before was that him and the Lions had agreed to part ways, right? Like
Right.
it was just how
Yeah.
they were going to do it. So like that was expected. It's being hinted at for a while that McVay especially has kind of wanted to get away from Goff and or felt limited by Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think like in swapping QBs in this way, not completely surprised by that. I think what surprised me was what else the Rams gave up to get Goff or to get Stafford, I mean. Um, and I think part of it was I like I mean it'd be interesting to hear both sides of this from both GMs and both teams, but I feel like one first round pick was to get Stafford and then the other first round pick was to take Goff in his contract. If that makes sense. Because Goff's contract is not nice. Um, and
Was Stafford a free agent?
no, but I'm pretty sure his contract is less than what Goff's is. Um, I'm trying to pull it up right now, but um, but yeah, I mean, I think the big surprise to me was how much the Rams gave up. Uh, but if you think, yeah, so Stafford has you pay him 33 million this year, 26 million next year, and then 3 million in 2023. Um, and he's only 33, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not crazy old
Real
for a
quick,
quarterback.
Jeff, who's
Yeah,
older, Matthew Stafford or Joe Burrow?
I think Joe Burrow.
I'm gonna keep recycling that joke. It never gets old,
Um,
just like Matthew Stafford.
and then Jared Goff is 32 million, or no, he's 35 million this year, 32 million next year, 32 million 2023, and 28 million 2024.
Oof.
So significantly more expensive
Why on earth would the
as
Lions
of
want
right
that?
now. But I think there's a way they could get out of it. I believe after 2022, it looks like his dead money goes to $8 million. So like if the Lions try to cut him this year, I believe he's $65 million of dead money. If they cut him next year, it's 31, and then in 2023, it's 8.5. So I think they can get out of it after 2023 if they want. I think for the Lions, this is a great trade. I'm a Stafford fan. I like him significantly more than Goff personally.
Yeah.
Um, but you get you're not a good team right now, right? You're probably not going to be a good team next year. So you get, two first round picks. Now, granted, the Rams' first round pick is probably going to be in the back half of the first round. You wouldn't expect it to be like 1 through 10. It's probably going to be closer to 20 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you still get a second first round pick, right? For 2 years in a row. You get an extra third round pick, and you get a guy you can, put as a starter. The Lions weren't the worst team in the league this year. They're not getting Trevor Lawrence. So if they decide to take a QB this year or next year, um, they don't have to play them right away.
Yeah.
You'll have Goff, who is decent. I don't think Goff is great, but I think he's solid. Um, I think McVay kind of got as much as he could out of Goff, and I think that's why he was. I think that's why we saw the trade, because I think McVay or the Rams think that they can get significantly more from Stafford. Um, but yeah, I mean, it just gives the Lions kind of a bridge quarterback, I think.
Right.
So I I honestly don't hate this from the Rams' perspective if they think Stafford is a significant upgrade, because they don't need a whole lot. They had the best defense in the league last year. If Stafford can put them back into the like top 5 offenses, their defense probably won't be number 1 in the league in 2021. But their defense will probably still be top 10. And if they can get the offense into the top 10 or back into the top 5, they're going to be back as a top tier team again. So,
Yeah, I agree with you that I I like both sides. There are reasons to like both sides of this trade. The Rams get a quarterback who can presumably execute an offense more effectively than Jared Goff has been able to. It seems like McVay really had to pull the offense back last year and this year. He did have a great season in 2018. Then it seemed like either defenses made adjustments or the Rams were just hurting from not having Todd Gurley to draw that attention. So um, the success for the Rams are obviously going to be dependent on if McVay can create an offense that revolves around Stafford's strengths. He's more of a down the field striker. Not so much doing the kind of ball possession West Coast offense style. However, I don't I'm not I don't have that. I haven't hashtag ground the tape enough to see if Matthew Stafford is able to execute that kind of offense
well,
on a regular
I don't
basis.
I don't think Stafford was ever really asked to run a West Coast offense,
Right.
but just from fantasy anecdotes, we know he's more than willing to check down at times, considering Theo Riddick was a fantasy asset for like 4 or 5 years in a row, with
Golden
almost
Tate
zero running value, right?
Golden Tate was productive and he's a possession
Yeah,
receiver.
yeah. I mean, Stafford is, with Calvin and with Golladay and with Marvin Jones, he definitely seems to like to throw the ball down the field more, and I think that's what McVay wants more. But he's also, the Rams do have Cam Akers, who came on pretty heavily at the end of the year. Daryl Henderson's decent still. The Rams have some weapons at running back, I think, going into next year that Stafford could also use. That might also be more effective if he's throwing the ball downfield more than when he checks down. They might have more room to operate as well.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
excited to see what Stafford can do. Always been a thorn in my side. Detroit has always been a thorn in my side when playing pick'ems, and I mean they're just one of those teams I can never get right. I mean, for a while the trick was don't pick the Lions on the road and don't pick the Lions against good quarterbacks. But I mean that trend has kind of been bucked over the last few years. Um,
yeah.
Anywho, yeah, I mean Stafford obviously wants to go to greener pastures, and the writing was on the wall when contract talks around Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones, who are both free agents, and saying they wanted out. So
Yeah.
Stafford has no business staying around. And I mean, word in the streets is that this trade was, which is not official because they can't make the trades official until the new league year in March. But rumor has it that it was hashed out, and in Cabo, I guess Stafford and McVay were down in Cabo, and maybe they like met up with each other on some yacht, socially distant, of course, because the NFL does not break any COVID CDC recommended guidelines. Not at all, not at all. Everything above board. What happens on the yacht stays on the yacht. But anywho, That is the backstory. May or may not be true. But
A
you
fun
know,
little factoid that people may not know is that Matthew Stafford went to high school with a famous Dodger who's currently playing there as well.
besties.
Kershaw.
Is
Yeah.
he going to be too distracted by Clayton Kershaw flaming out come playoff time in November to I mean
All right. So,
he's
hey,
been in a 60 game
get,
season, yet to be seen tack on an extra 100 games, and we'll see.
all right. So I got this for you. Since we're getting to baseball season,
Yeah,
I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves right now, but do you know Clayton Kershaw's highest ERA over the last 10 years?
maybe like 2-2. I know it's ridiculous.
No, his highest.
Highest like for the full
Yeah,
season.
for a full
Uh,
season.
I'll say 2.75.
It's like 3.03.
That's still pretty damn good. What's his?
Like
What's
that's
his?
better than huh?
I was gonna say, what's his? I know his his career ERA is like insanely low.
Oh yeah, I don't know that one off the top, but I heard that uh, stat the other day, and
Yeah,
it was like 303 would be a career year for most uh, pitchers, and it's
yeah,
his highest
2.43 Kershaw career
career. Yeah,
career ERA.
2.16 last year.
That is spicy. That is spicy. Uh, Matthew Stafford, welcome to the mega market, my friend. Welcome to SoCal. You now play in the Chargers house because, I mean, last I checked, the Rams lost to the Jets in that stadium, and I don't know what it will take for the Rams to be able to claim that as their house. But yeah, they need to do something. Um, any chance for Goff having success in Detroit, biting kneecaps?
Um, considering I would be short selling Detroit right now. I don't think so. But you never know. I mean, football changes quick. What happens if they? I don't think this will happen, but if they re-sign Golladay and Marvin Jones, they've got DeAndre Swift, they've got Hawkinson. You know, I could see him being decent in like a situation like that. I don't think either of those guys resigns.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, I think Goff is. I don't think Goff is terrible, but I don't think he's great either. I
He's
think
gonna have
he's
a
more
chip
the
on his shoulder
average.
too.
Yeah, and he'll probably have the ball a lot because that defense isn't going to be very good next year, probably. So, I mean, he'll have opportunities, but
And he's got offensive mastermind Anthony Lynn running the offense now there in Detroit. So I'm sure that'll go great.
I'm not going to hate on Anthony Lynn. He's terrible at and like in-game decision making, I think, but I thought overall he was a decent coach.
Excellent man, a much worse coach. Um, Anywho, let's move on, shall we? Speaking of the mega market and Jared Goff coming here, another San Diego. Well, it's just San Diego. San Diego has. I mean, we're about to hang banners because I don't know if you saw Jeff, and if you didn't, it's. I mean, I would be really surprised, but the most exciting star, maybe in all of sports, Fernando Tatis is going to be on the cover of the next edition of MLB The Show.
Mm-hmm.
And my message for everybody out there is to find yourself someone who celebrates you like SD celebrates consolation prizes like this. What are your thoughts on Fernando Tatis being on the cover of the show?
I think it's great. I think it's deserved. He's the most exciting player in baseball. Um, Not quite the best yet, but he
Mm,
seems to be a consensus top 5 draft pick in fantasy leagues so far.
mm,
Um,
You know what he is leading the
But
league in? Swag.
yeah, exactly.
He's
And I
doing
think this is
Beamer
great for
commercials.
him.
He's on the cover of the show. He's got blonde dreads. Blonde
He
dreads.
does.
And he has Latin dance moves, sir. I mean,
I
was this guy made in a lab?
Depending on what happens this year with Vlad Guerrero Jr., Tatis should get credit for that too, because Vlad Jr. said he's gotten himself in shape because he saw what happened with Tatis.
He got himself a what?
He's gotten himself in shape, like he
Oh,
started
okay.
working out.
he's like
So
he's like,
if
oh, maybe like actually being in peak physical form is good for you.
well, actually, well, I mean, yeah, when you put it like that, but what Vlad kind of said, or what I read, was that he's never had to be in shape to like dominate where he's been
Yeah.
at until then he got to the major leagues, and he's still been decent, right? But he hasn't been near the like player people thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
And he saw Tatis last year, and he goes, okay, well maybe if I get in shape, I can do something. So this year will be
Yeah.
interesting for Vlad, and if Vlad takes off the way he was initially projected to, I think Tatis should get credit for that one too.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. By the way, since we're talking about, shapely male figures, this has been on the show notes for a while, but I just haven't gotten to it because we always run long and the NBA doesn't quite excite me. But James Harden was traded and everybody's making fat jokes, making fun of players' weight. This is a little tired. It's a little tired. There's always one guy that sports media goes after. Started with Eddie Lacy. He came out and said he's depressed and actually has like weight issues as like a personal demon. And then like the media kind of backed off of that, and then they got on Kelvin Benjamin, right? And now he's
Yeah,
irrelevant. Like in James Harden, I mean, luckily he's still balling out. Doesn't really seem to be affected by it, and it seems to be controversial on whether or not he's actually overweight. But I'm just saying, like that takes tired. It's not funny. Try harder. Try harder,
I'm with
especially
you
the
on that.
capital J's out there.
I'm 100% with you on that. People put
Yeah,
too much stock into what guys look like a lot of times.
yeah. I mean, back to Tatis being on the cover. I know I'm kind of making light of SD celebrating consolation prizes, but I think it's awesome. I love it. It's very exciting. Lots of people will point out MLB The Show. The video game studios are here in San Diego. Yeah, I would like to think either way, if that were in freaking Baltimore or something, Tatis still would have probably been on the cover. Um, but
Yeah,
I can make fun of San Diego fans celebrating consolation prizes because I'm
you're a San
celebrating it.
Diego fan.
I'm celebrating them. But like LA fans, Dodger fans coming at people on Twitter, like calm down. You guys just won the World Series. Let San Diegans be happy. Let San Diegans be happy. You guys just won the World Series. You're the best team in baseball. Don't you have a parade to plan? Oh wait, it was a 60 game COVID shortened season, so they don't have a parade to celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think, especially for something like this, that's pretty irrelevant to like what's actually going to happen on the field. I think
Yeah,
teams should just not care if it's not your guy.
yeah,
It's you know I think kind of fitting that Tatis gets it the year that MLB The Show comes to Xbox, because he's kind of bringing more fan participation in. I think so. Like he's the more inclusive player. Um, but yeah, I mean, Dodger fans, like, there's nothing to even be upset about, right? Like, who do they even have that anyone cares about?
are you
You're gonna
saying
throw Mookie
that
out there again?
PlayStations are more for the elite and Xbox is more for the common man? I'm just curious your
No,
association there.
I'm saying that MLB The Show hasn't been on Xbox because it
Uh-huh.
was exclusive to PlayStation, and that
Uh-huh.
now Tatis Jr. gets the cover, and it's going to be on both. So he's a uniting force in the gaming world.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm
Gotcha.
going for.
Okay, we're not starting console wars.
No, because I think, gaming is great, and I think whatever system you want to play on is good, right? Because
Okay.
at the end of the day, it's all about you having fun when you're gaming.
Yeah. I'm still undecided on the next generation, so I can be bought. If anybody out there is listening, I can be bought. I can be swayed,
Well,
especially with a lot of games being cross-platform. I'm
yeah,
not.
I mean, I think if you're going to spend money, maybe build a PC and make that move. Um,
I'm a
but
console bro.
yeah, I mean, console, either or. If there's, I would look up, what I would do is look up the exclusives and see if there's exclusives on either system that you really want. And then if there is, go with that. If there isn't, then just pick the system that more of the people you're going to play with are on.
But I mean, I'm not looking for logic here. I'm looking for a bit. So I appreciate your insight, but
I know, I'm just trying to help you out.
gotcha. I appreciate it. You're giving the people the insight they need. Um, Anywho, but yeah, man, just Dodger fan sliding to the DM, unprovoked. I was not celebrating this on social media. I mean, I was aware of it. I was maybe liking some posts, but man, coming at me with showing like people partying in the gas lamp. I think after the Padres won a playoff game and saying that this is the Padres celebrating Tatis being on the cover of MLB The Show, and I'm like, number one, that's pretty good. Number two, like assault, sir. Don't. It's not necessary. Go hang your banners. We're busy playing video games. Let's move on. It is Super Bowl week. We're 40 minutes into the show and we have not talked about the Super Bowl at all. The big game. I have not been given the express written consent of the NFL to say Super Bowl, so hopefully we don't get, cease and desisted. However, that would probably do well for our brand. Anyway, Chiefs, Bucks, Tom Brady, 10th Super Bowl. Meanwhile, I crushed, no, I didn't crush 10 donuts this morning, but I had to come up with something. Number one, the Chiefs are favored 3 points. They've had some offensive line issues lately. Can Tom Brady do it? I mean, let's just get it right off the top here, Jeff. How do you see this game playing out?
In terms of final score, I see the Chiefs winning by 10 or more. My numbers have it much closer and would say take Buccaneers +3. But just after watching what's happened in the playoffs, watching the season, in my mind, I don't see the Chiefs winning by less than 10 personally. So, I would kind of go against my own numbers there. Can Tom do it? Yeah, he can. Like, they got there, right? Like, it's just winning another football game. But I don't think it's likely. But it's just another feather in the cap of the greatest football career we've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, maybe even the best sports, the best career in sports of all time. I mean, I don't know how you.
I mean, you top it with Bill Russell winning 11
Yeah.
championships in 13 seasons, but I think when you adjust for free agency, I think that what Brady's done now is more impressive than what Bill Russell did. Like, Bill Russell's team was the exact same, not the exact same, but like the same year in and year out because players didn't move teams, right? Like, there's a famous story about Red Auerbach, who was the coach, telling one of their players, who I believe ended up being a Hall of Famer, who had asked to like go to another team and said, find another job, basically. Like, you're not going anywhere. Yeah,
I haven't heard that one before.
yeah, there were also less teams in the league then. Right now, I think basketball had like 16 teams. Football's got 32.
Mm,
So I think what Brady's done is probably the most impressive when you adjust for current conditions.
yeah, all things
Um,
considered,
yeah,
very, very impressive. Uh, it's impossible to dispute it. I spent years hating on Tom Brady, and it's just it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I mean, if you look at the list of quarterbacks he's beaten in the playoffs, it's insane. Um, but anywho, yeah, I see the game playing similar. I think there's going to be a lot of passing. I think the Chiefs might opt for a more possession type game. Um, when these two played earlier in the year, they decided to single cover Tyreek Hill, and he went nuclear. Had like 200 yards receiving in the first half, and like a lot of it in the first quarter. I don't see it playing out that way. Mahomes is a little hobbled because of the toe. I mean, he seemed fine in the conference championship game, but hard to imagine it's still not at least a slight issue. And then
right.
they've lost some of their offensive linemen. So, and the Bucks defense is pretty solid. So, anywho, I think there's going to be a lot of passing attempts on both sides. I think it's going to be the Bucks trying to keep pace with the Chiefs. I think the Bucks might carry a halftime lead, but I think the Chiefs pull away in the second half and close it out. So I would like the Chiefs to win by a touchdown. Um, Obviously the game needs to be played, and you don't know what Brady can do, and there might be a fluke turnover, so anything can happen. But I think if this game's played 100 times, I think the Chiefs win maybe 70 times by 7 or more points. So hi Jeff's dogs. Maybe I should introduce them at the start of the show too. But anywho,
I'll hold them up next time.
yeah. Let's talk some prop bets, shall we? Prop bets are always fun, right?
Let's go for it.
So I went ahead and highlighted a few here that I found interesting that I wouldn't call them locks, but that I would enjoy playing. The first one was, will there be a face shield in a WeatherTech commercial? WeatherTech makes like plastics and that type of thing. So, anywho, I mean that's like printing cash. If I feel like this line's on here, there's for sure going to be a WeatherTech commercial. Like, how would you not show a face shield in a COVID year? To get some of that
I
street cred.
I would bet on the no.
You would bet on the nose plus 152, so that's where the money, where you can make the most money. But anywho, yeah, I would be on the yes on this one. Will there be a Star Wars commercial? Yes, plus 237. No, minus 295. So, I mean, there's no Star Wars movies in the works, but we still have the Mandalorian out, and Papa Mickey, Disney isn't exactly doing too swell with their amusement parks being closed, theaters being closed. The cash cow has been the Mandalorian, and the breakout star of 2020, Baby Yoda. Like, how do you not ride that cash train and show him in a commercial?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I would be surprised if they don't. Especially they have a few new series or shows that are going to be coming out soon, like the Obi-Wan show. I would be surprised if they don't do something for the Super Bowl.
Has to be. How is that plus odds? It's anyway. Bet that. How many times will Bill Belichick be said? Over under 1. I'm on the under here.
Over.
I don't think he gets mentioned. You think he gets said?
I think he gets mentioned multiple times.
See, I think Romo's in the booth, so he's the wild card. He could say any number of things. So I mean, I hadn't considered that. So maybe you're right, but I think they're gonna keep the focus on what's going on the field and have a pros pro broadcast. It's CBS, CBS run by all the capitalist J's of capital J's. So this isn't a Fox, this isn't a Fox broadcast. This isn't. Does ABC still get games because of ESPN, or do they not get Super Bowls? Like, I mean, I guess I don't. It doesn't really matter. I don't think they do. I think NBC, CBS, and Fox rotate the Super Bowls, but yeah, that I guess I don't know on that one, but Tony Romo's the wild card. I could see him just mentioning Belichick like 10 times, getting belligerent. Giselle, will she be shown in the broadcast? There's not going to be many fans. Supposedly there's going to be 25K or something like that. The over under here is at 1.5. Again, I don't think they've shown her at games at Super Bowls before, have they, Jeff? I mean, she doesn't have anything to do because everything's closed. But what are your thoughts on that one, Jeff? If you have any.
I don't have any on that. Sorry, I'm getting in trouble from my wife right now.
Oh man. Oh man. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. But yeah. I mean maybe Tom's gonna get in trouble by his lady. But
he'll only
yeah.
get in trouble if he doesn't win.
Yeah, and I mean maybe they show her once, but since it's 1.5, again, a CBS broadcast, this were Fox, maybe not. But
yeah, I mean,
I'm on the under here. Plus odds.
I think because of how I think the game's going to go, I'm on the under. But if you think Tampa's going to win, I think you have to bet the over because they're definitely going to show her towards the end of the game. They're going to show his family, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So
yelling, Tom can't throw the ball and catch it himself. Anyway, how many times will the Patriots be said? Over and under set at 2 again. I think they're just going to focus on the game with CBS. That's the game narrative in my head. So I'm on the under here as well, with the minus odds.
Yeah. So I get that you're on the under, right? This is correlated to the Belichick one, I believe. If they talk about the Patriots multiple times, they'll talk about Belichick multiple times, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm either going to hit all of these or not get a single one.
Yeah. So I was over on the Belichick, so I would be over on the Patriots.
Gotcha. The Times home field advantage being said, of course, this is the first home Super Bowl, technically. I mean, it's not really like a home Super Bowl, like the home team or, by some sort of rule that Tampa Bay gets the home Super Bowl as like the NFC or whatever. It's just like Tampa Bay was already the determined host, and the Bucs made the Super Bowl. So the over/under is set here at 0.5. So basically, is it going to be mentioned or not? I mean, how does it not get mentioned? This seems like printing money to me too.
I'm with you on that. Like, there's no way this doesn't get mentioned, especially because Tampa Bay put out a statement. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, basically saying that, like, while it's a home game, they won't, like, the cannons won't go off and stuff like that. Like, they're not allowed to treat it like it's a home game kind of thing.
They should have. They should just have like some rogue freaking intern down there take the fall and be like
100%. If you're the owner of the company of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you just tell whoever runs that, and you say, "Hey, dude, you're gonna have to get fired, but you're gonna do this, and I'm gonna give you a job at my other company."
Yeah, exactly.
You set
it up in the parking lot. I don't know. You got to do something. What will be mentioned first? That it's Tom Brady's 10th Super Bowl, or that he's about to apply for Medicare. He's going to be Medicare eligible next year. That is age is 43. I feel like it's the age.
Well, I feel like they're going to happen at roughly the same time. So it's really just which comes first, and I think they will say age first,
Yeah.
then Super Bowl.
Tom Brady at age 43 is
playing in his 10th Super Bowl.
Yeah, or do they say Tom Brady in his 10th Super Bowl, now age 43? I feel like the age has got to come first. It just rolls off the tongue better.
I agree with you on that.
Maybe if either one of us went to Northwestern in broadcasting school, we'd have an insight. But the age is that is plus odds. So the Super Bowl, the 10th Super Bowl, is the favored one. So maybe we're just not thinking this right. Will LeBron be said during the broadcast? Romo's in there. I feel like he's going for that cross sport appeal. So I just feel like it's a plus 461. So it's the odds makers don't think it's very likely, but that's something I would like to play.
I could see them mentioning LeBron because LeBron's been to 9, 10 finals, something like that.
Making the comparison.
Make the comparison, yeah. I could see that coming up.
They could have graphics. They could have other sports greats. LeBron James, such and such championship finals. What else? Bill Russell, like you said, comparing goats. Fernando Tatis getting the cover of MLB The Show. Dominican Rookie of the Year or something like that. Mitch Trubisky, Nickelodeon most valuable player 2020. I could see all those graphics. I like that, Jeff. Yeah. I like what you're thinking there. Some other game lines that I'm interested in. I'm interested in the over. I could see this being a shootout. I think there's going to be a lot of passing, and although I did say that the Chiefs might be going for possession stuff, they have the weapons where those possession plays with like Tyreek Hill, for instance, obviously, and Kelsey too. If they get in Mecole Hardman, even if they're doing the underneath stuff, it's really easy for that to turn into some big plays. And then also on the other side, Brady, Bruce Arians have been kind of bombs away, and they have Godwin, they have Antonio Brown. By the way, another thing, perhaps the biggest storyline of this game that we haven't mentioned is it's the Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, 2/3 of the triple Bs. It's the grudge match. It's the grudge match that we've all been waiting. Of course, nobody's been waiting for that, but anyway, I like the Bucs to lead or be within 2 at halftime. And then I like the Chiefs first half, or I like the first half total over 27.5. So, and then I like the Chiefs minus 7.5 line and the over 63.5. That's at plus 208. Jeff, are you on any of these lines? I know you said you like the Chiefs to win by 10, so I assume you like that one.
Yeah, that's about the only one I would think about there. The over, I'm not completely confident in it. If you look at last week against the Packers, the Buccaneers really kind of got lucky to get to 30 like they did. They got a kind of a once in a season turnover from Aaron Rodgers at the end of the half, which led to a touchdown. They converted some really difficult like third downs to score that led to touchdown drives. And so I just don't think that stuff happens again. And I think that, Mahomes gets out. I think the Chiefs might score 35 and the Buccaneers score like 21.
Yeah. First play of the game. Runs at minus 133, passes at 103. With these two teams, come on, man. Pass first offenses. Let's go.
Nope. If Tampa Bay gets the ball, they're running the ball first play.
Oh, God. Get out of here. It's going to be play action. It's just going to be a bomb to Godwin or AB. I
Future free
sneakily
agent
think that
Chris
AB
Godwin.
could have a good game. What's up?
Free agent to be Chris Godwin.
Yeah, yeah, why not?
Multi-time Dynasty League champion Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
Get out of here with that. Um, don't forget you lost in the league that matters. By the way, this is my last week without my trophy, so I cannot wait to pry that from the lame duck uh, simulation runner. Hopefully he doesn't stage an insurrection in the next few days. Anywho, um, I like the Chiefs to score in every quarter. That's plus 135. I mean, I'm on the Chiefs over for everything. Over on touchdowns, 3.5. I put the under on the Bucks touchdowns at 3.5, but less confident about that. Let's get back into the fun stuff. What color will Patrick Mahomes' headband be? We got red as the favorite at minus 400, black at plus 210, gray at plus 600, and white at plus 600. I mean, does he always wear red headbands? Is this something I don't know about that people need to know? I mean, that hair is glorious. You know it's going to be in camera shots a lot.
I think he's going red.
Okay. I'm on. I like the odds for a black headband. Maybe it's black, says Black Lives Matter. That's my thinking there. So
There you go.
I mean, shout awareness. It's I would appreciate it if he did something like that. So that's my thinking. It's got plus odds for a good cause. Like, let's roll. Let's roll, Mahomes.
Yeah.
First beer brand or first Anheuser-Busch brand commercial to run. I kind of selfishly put this in. Jeff, are you a seltzer guy? I feel like I should know this.
I'll let you guess.
I'd say no, because you think a lot of things are trash, and this is for your brand, so I would think you would say seltzers are trash.
I'm a seltzer guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Much more than those regular light beers. Those are trash.
Okay. All right. All right. I appreciate that. Anyway, Michelob Ultra organic seltzers, that they are quite tasty. They got this spicy pineapple, man. Anyways, this selfish thing, I like that. Give it a try. It's got the longest odds at plus 200, but like, let's roll. 2021, year of health. Everybody's working from home, more time to exercise. Maybe to eat right or drink right. Always drink responsibly. Yeah, that's my thinking there. Which bag of chips will be shown first, or which brand? We got Doritos, Cheetos, Tostitos. I mean, it's got to be Doritos.
I'm going Cheetos.
The meta for Super Bowl watching, free tip, free pointer for everybody. Nacho Doritos and guac. Life changing. First to score a touchdown. I like a lot of players here.
Kelsey's my number one.
Yeah, Kelsey. I mean, he is the favorite at plus 550. Supposedly these are really bad. These are really positive rake for the books. So it's not the smartest bet, but it is fun, and I've actually hit them a few times. Even the long odds, but I like Kelsey at plus 550. I like Tyreek at plus 625. I like Gronk at plus 1300. Then AB, Brady to maybe sneak one in. Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson, Cameron Brate. Those are the ones that I kind of like. But yeah, I mean, if it's the Chiefs, it's gonna be Kelsey or Tyreek for sure. And if you think the Bucks are gonna score first, I would go with one of the pass catchers because they have favorable odds. And I wouldn't do Mike Evans. That's my thinking. Do you have any that you're thinking, Jeff?
I do not. I would avoid like Mahomes rushing ones. I know there was I forget what game it was last year, but Mahomes was.
I think he scored. I think he got a rushing touchdown to start last season. Or last Super Bowl. I think he got the first TD was a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, but there was I think it was last Super Bowl. His rushing yards was over under 29.5, and he went into the drive at like 44, but because of the knees that he took and him running backwards, he ended up
Yeah.
at 29.
Yeah.
And
Oh
so,
man, I remember that.
yes. So depending on, your thoughts there, I would just avoid that. I would avoid all the rushing props.
Same.
Or I would probably lean under on a lot of them. I would probably lean more over on the passing props.
Unless you think the Bucks are gonna win, then Ronald Jones over. That's the play. Oh, and if you think the Bucks are gonna win, don't bet. I mean, don't even bet the don't bet the money line. Don't bet the spread. Bet Tom Brady MVP because it's like plus 225, and I don't think there's any way that the Bucks win and Tom Brady doesn't get MVP. Free advice. Free advice. But yeah, I mean we're at time. So Jeff, any parting thoughts before we get out of here?
No, not really. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have a good
Enjoy the
weekend.
Super
See you
Bowl.
next week.
Yeah, losing team PF Chang's on us on Monday. And yeah, until next week, adios.